What's up, guys? It's been a minute, but we're back. I know. Where you been, Solo? Been grinding, okay? We're trying to build ZeroCut. What is ZeroCut? Now, I know it's all just coming at you right now from the get-go, but hey, we're ahead explain exactly. I'm sure you read the title of this. We're gonna go in depth of how I invented a product and how I turned it into a business. And for anybody watching who wants to start a business and invent something, perfect video to watch. Before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I am and what I've done. So, my name is Solo. I am the founder and owner of ZeroCut. So, we introduced a new line of grooming tools. Not just any kind of grooming tools, first of its kind, post haircut residue grooming tools. So, like all men, we've all dealt with little hairs around our necks, our ear, face, clothes, anywhere, right? After your haircut. It's annoying. And you can say, yeah, I take showers or I just flick them all out. Yeah, okay. In reality, you're not really removing that. So, I came up with the innovative idea to remove those, right? So with our flagship product, the ZeroCut Ear One. So right here, our ZeroCut Ear One. You can check it out right here. So you simply just run this through the ear canal, picks up all little hairs, boom. You just picked up all those hairs in one go. Then you rinse, sanitize, and boom, it's ready for the next ear. Then once you're done, you simply just put the cap over it like this, boom, and it's ready for your next haircut. That's what I came up with. Okay, go ahead and check out our Instagram, ZeroCut, just zero the word cut altogether. You can see our commercials, our advertisements, more in depth of the product. But what I really want to talk about is exactly how to invent a product and how to turn it into a business. Now, inventing products isn't a saturated business nowadays, and I know you're thinking, well, everything's already been invented. I can't come up with nothing new. Remove that thought from your mind. If you have that kind of little worm in your ear telling you, hey, I want to invent something, but I don't know what to invent. This is easy. So you're going to do. Step one, you're going to identify the problem. So you're going to think of problems that are out there in the world, right? There's a lot of problems. A lot. Now, there's different niches you can go into as well. I landed on the barber community, right? I landed on hair, little hair residue. That's what I landed on. There's millions, billions combinations of stuff you can think of for problems. Now, write them down on a list. Just put them down. It can be a little bit as like cat paws on cars, clean, like just name them, right? Put them on a list. Boom, 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 boom. And you're just gonna write everything down, and then you're gonna start circling what kind of like, okay, what's smart, what's a good idea. Boom, just start. Just identify a problem. That's all you have to do. Now, once you've kind of fallen into what categories you're gonna go stepping into, right? As far as problems, that's when you come up with solution. Now, my solution was I wanted to remove little hairs, right? Now, what did I use to do that, right? I use Q-tips, I use wet towels, I flicked in my finger. So I use all these alternative ways to remove little hairs, right? So I landed onto the roots. Okay, I use a Q-tip, right? Why not use the same kind of base model as far as like a Q-tip, but more handheld and more easy maneuver, because a Q-tip is more stiff, it's cotton, it's I can't really flex around, it's more just hard, right? I was like, but it's not really flicking out the little hairs in my ear, it's more or less kind of pushing it. Cotton doesn't pick up the hairs, it's not designed for that. It's designed for earwax, or that's kind of a topic we can go into about how to do your makeup, blah blah. But I was realizing all these different things that it was meant for, that it wasn't really viable for removing little hairs from my ear canal after a haircut. So I fell on this kind of concept. I start off with the Q-tip, right? Start off just skinny. You gotta draw your designs, right? You're gonna be like Flint Lockwood, just drawing out, just whatever kind of like makes sense to you. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's 2026 now. You can definitely leverage AI for sure. All right, definitely describe the solution you want to bring into it and kind of be like, hey, chat, Claude, whatever AI system you use, be like, hey, I have identified this problem, I have the solution, create me a product, right? There's no shame in that, all right? Now, don't think that just because you're using AI, you're gonna shortcut everything. No. I had to learn about formulas of solutions, solution mix ratios. I had to learn about ergonomic handles, 3D printings, cast molding, a lot of things like that. So solution is what you kind of figure out next after you've identified the problem. Okay, once you've identified the problem and solution, next what you have to do is you have to research the market. Okay, so whatever solution product you've landed on, right? Once you've created your designs, once you don't need to have all crazy in depth, just as long as you have something in your mind, physical product of an idea of what it is, then that's when you start researching. I researched tools that remove little hairs from the ear canal after your haircut. There was nothing. I researched tools that you can remove from the base of your head, your neck, collars, your shirt, nothing, right? And I researched all this. And then tend to actually buy it to use it in the first place. And that's when the light bulb hit to me like, hey, why don't I just invent it, right? So you have to research the market. You have to see what there is. Now, if something like that already exists, it doesn't per se you have to give up. I mean, a lot of people nowadays do new iterations to products, modify them, tweak them to make them better. Now, don't give up. You can always go that route. I wanted something that was brand new. I wanted to just create something from really nothing, that there was nothing there. So research the market. Go Google, TikTok, YouTube. Just check all online for what the product you're kind of thinking of making and seeing if it already exists. Okay, so once you've already researched the market, checked around, shopped around, see what there was. Now, once you've landed, if you're going to stick on, making a brand new product or you're going to do an iteration to it, you have to do number 4, which is check the feasibility. That's a tongue twister. Feasibility. I can't even say it. Feasibility. Okay, I might be saying this wrong. I'll put the word right here. Yeah, you gotta check that. And what that means is you gotta see if it's possible. Can it be done, right? So my concept of what my product is, the ZeroCut Ear One, what makes it so unique is the fact that it's a sticky rehydrating silicone. So you run that through, it picks up all little hairs with the simple press lift method, right? It's sticky. You pick it all up, then once you're done, you're able to rinse it off with warm water and sanitize. And once it's wet, it has a rehydrating element to it that actually makes it sticky again. So that's what makes it unique. But I actually had to check, is that possible? Can that be done, right? Is there stuff out there that's make it a reusable silicone, sticky adhesive? There's a lot of questions in my mind. Is it possible? So that's when you just research, okay? You have to do a lot of research. You have to check everything. So check the... Now, number 5. This could be kind of switched between 5 and 6. Before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to tell you that number 5, I would say, would be ask around. Now, I would ask people, hey, if I brought this product to your face, or if you saw this in a store, what would you do? Would you buy it? What pricing would you want for it? What would you use it for? Would you actually use it? Would you kind of like, that's weird? Get people's feedback. That's very important. You want to hear as much feedback as you possibly can from men, women, just every spectrum, right? Old, young, everything. Even as a little baby, I can't even talk. Just ask him. If he goes, then so you know it's a bad product. But no, I'm joking, bro. So you definitely want to get feedback. You want to ask around. That's very, very, very important, right? You have to make sure that your customers are going to want your product. Consumers are going to want it, So ask around. Get feedback. Get lots of it. Write it down. Record. Everything like that. Then after that, number 6 would be creating a prototype. Now, the reason why I say, 5 and 6 can be switched vice versa is because some people like to see a product depending on what it is. Some people actually want to see it in their hand, or they either want to see a visual product of whatever it is you're kind of creating. So it can be switched before. Like sometimes you want to create the prototype first and then show around for feedback, or you just want to get feedback first and then make it. It all depends on yourself how you want to go around to that route. I ended up getting feedback, creating the prototype, then getting some feedback. I kind of went all over. Feedback is very important. So definitely create a prototype. Now, prototyping can be very difficult depending on what you're trying to invent, right? You could do it yourself. You're able to just buy the parts, make it, do it yourself. Some people like me, I was not no engineer. I was not a builder. I could not. So I just simply got a manufacturer to actually create my product for me. And then from there, we just start prototyping and so and so. So that brings me to my next point. Number 6, find a manufacturer. Now, this is going to be your hardest task. It was my hardest task, maybe a little different for you, but I wanted a good manufacturer who was affordable, but as well making high quality. Now, those are usually don't really go align, because if you want high quality, it's going to be pretty expensive. And if you want affordable, it's going to be pretty cheap. So I had to find a sweet spot. It was really hard because I had to Google as a lot of manufacturers, get a lot of quotes, get a lot of, calling them and telling them my product, and it was a lot. But eventually, I landed on a manufacturer in Vietnam. Now, there's a lot of people who go to China who do it domestically. If you're gonna do it here in the United States, it's gonna be a little more expensive, but it is definitely way more efficient in the United States. But I would just start off in the most affordable you can, unless you're really rich and you have a lot of money to blow. For all means, whatever floats your boat. But as long as you find a good manufacturer who's able to kind of help you out, also don't really just want the money. I was lucky enough to find one that was able to help me out a lot. I gave my engineers a lot of freedom. I told them, hey, this is the product, this is the idea, this is what I wanted to do. If you want to improvise it and make it better, I give you full freedom to do that. Just obviously I have to approve of it. But so they started working at the product. The original product looked way different than what it looks now. It was just flat. This one's actually round and it has grip grooves. They did that. Shout out to them. Shout out to my boys in Vietnam, cooking up the ZeroCut ear ones. So definitely shop around. Definitely be very articulate to what you get. And then once you've actually found a manufacturer, and I would also give out some legality forms. I gave some NDAs and stuff like that, as well as making sure that he's chill. You want to have good business. You don't want to be butting heads, because then the production is gonna slow down. Now, I know what you're thinking. Solo, why haven't you mentioned patenting, trademarks, any type of protection on my product? Now, this is my opinion, and this is what I was told from patent attorneys. I would not focus on patenting anytime soon in the beginning process of creating a product. The reason why is because, one, a patent doesn't per se doesn't protect your product completely, right? There's this whole concept that if you have a patent, nobody else can make your product, which is a lie. People right now, my product isn't patented. Even if it was patented, China can take it, Vietnam can take it. They're not in the United States. It's different. And if someone in the United States does steal my idea and does steal my product, that does not give them the right where they still can't do it. All they're going to do is just take me to court. And what court is going to do is going to cost a lot of money to fight for it. Now, yes, I will probably win because I have a patent on the project and they do not. But if you don't have time and money to spend, you are not going to succeed in that court trial, because you're going to have to put in a lot of money to defend yourself. Like, hey, no, I made this product first. This is that, right? All a patent does is protects you in court. It doesn't really protect your product, because think about it. You know how many products are out there that are the same but just different brands? It's all the same. Now, with that being said, the most important thing is to make your product stand out first. Now, if your product is really good, like really, really, really good, where people all want to love it, you want to make sure you're the number one people that, oh, he's the one that started it first. I heard about them first. I don't know what this new one is. You want to make sure they know you. Now, big example is Base, right? Base, he's got, how many people, how many conditioners, shampoos are out there? But look, he was able to make a good personal brand of himself where he stood out. So make sure you stand out and don't be too concerned about patents, because patents are really expensive. So if you're willing to spend that money for a product that you don't even know is going to sell yet, why would you spend all that money to protect the product and then you don't even know if it's going to sell in the long run? So keep that in mind. But with that being said, definitely trademark your idea. I mean, not idea, I'm sorry, your name. ZeroCut is trademarked, so nobody else can name their product ZeroCut. That's super easy to win, and they're not even able to register it on USPTO because my trademark is already there. So that's definitely something to keep ahead of. Now, the most important one that a lot of people are going to say is hard, and I agree, it is. Number 7 is going to be seek funding. Now, this is a hard little bump you're going to have to get over, because there's going to be 3 routes you can go to. Either you can go to investors, put your equity out there. 2, you can ask a bunch of friends, bunch of family, hey, I need money for this, right? 3, you can take out loans, right? I ended up going number 3. I ended up leveraging my credit. Now, I didn't per se take a loan at the bank, but I opened up a credit card and I maxed it out. Now, I've gone in depth with the video before about how leveraging your credit is really good for business and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just fully explain what I did because, hey, this idea might work for you. So what I ended up doing, right, was I needed money. I needed a good amount of money to fund into production and make the product, right? So I needed $7,000 to fund into a large scale order of 1,000 units to get shipped to my apartment. So I was like, well, I don't have $7,000. I'm in college right now. I'm broke. How do I get money? So I found a way how I'd be able to borrow money. Now, if you have that businessman mindset, you would know debt is not bad. Don't be scared of debt, okay? Don't the world conditions you to think it's bad. It is if you use it wrong, but if you're going to leverage it and use it as an investment, this is what you should do. I opened up a credit card, right? I told them I got so and so amount of money, income. Then they gave me a $10,000 credit limit. I used that $10,000. I used that money to leverage it and to put it into my company. So I haven't even touched my own money, right? Then I put it into the company. I got manufactured. I got it produced, everything like that, without even touching my money. Then with the ROI I sold from the units, I paid off all my debt, and boom, not taxable. You can definitely get into that later on as far as the business field, but definitely explore your options and be very careful what you choose. Now, I'm very, very, very stubborn. I do not want to give any equity. If you're comfortable giving equity and the money's right, if it makes sense, then go ahead, do whatever's best for you. But seeking funding is very important, and also think of it as time. You need to think of time as well, right? Everyone told me go get a job because that's how you're going to afford to fund into your company. But my company was not worth, I needed more money than what my hours were going to be to make the money, So I knew I couldn't do a job because the time wasn't going to be right. It would take me like a year to make that much money from like a job where I can put enough hours because I was still in school. So explore your options. Obviously, research that too. Ask around. It's good to see. Seek funding is very important. After you've got that manufacturing set, you got your products produced, you got them up and running. Number 8, what you're going to do is you're going to define your business strategy, right? You're going to want to make money off this product, okay? But you're going to have to get comfortable with losing a lot of money, okay? Product development is not something where it's going to be fast, boom, you're going to get money quick. No, it's going to take time. You're going to be really impatient. When I first started, I thought I was going to be so rich. I thought I was going to make so much money because, boom, the product, boom, put it in the shelves. Like I thought it was going to be barbecue chicken. It was not. I'm still right now in production to get the large scale order, It's not easy. So you have to identify your business strategy. I'm going to tell you what I did. Now, my business strategy, because I invented something where barbers would sell to their clients, that's who I targeted. I targeted barbers. I targeted young men, people who get haircuts frequently. That's who I targeted. So what I did was I pushed straight to barbershops. Now, I decided to get a sales team who would push out my product for me. What they would do was sell ZeroCut Ear Wand. They'll sell this to barbershops. Now, obviously, my final packaging hasn't arrived yet, but we do have initial 1,000 units coming in as we speak because I'm just kidding, I'm not goat, it took a while. But what we do is we sell our ZeroCut Ear Wands at a large scale to the barbershops. So they can buy like a 250 pack, 500, 750 at different rates depending on what they get. Then when the barbershops receive that initial inventory, then they push it out to their clients. So the clients get haircuts and then they go and try to sell our product to the clients of the barbers. So that's how they would get a profit. I get a profit. Everyone's happy. Now, if you're in the product development, something you need to really, really get used to is that nothing's going to go your way. A lot of stuff is going to go wrong. A lot of stuff is not going to go right. Just life. So I get used to it. It's just like running any type of business. It's not going to go well. So you got to take that into account. Don't give up. Just keep going at it, as well as make sure that you are persistent and consistent. That's very important in the product development and just in business in general. Also include number 9, figure out a marketing plan. Now, for any product, marketing is going to be very important too. Now, I know I keep saying everything's important, and I keep saying this is the most important. All of it's important, okay? Obviously, because each step leads into branching out and making it big for each category. So, marketing, you're going to need to post content. You're going to get used to a camera. You need to get used to showing your product. Boom, what do you think of this? This is this. Get used to it, okay? You're going to be marketing as much as you possibly can. It's going to be pretty expensive because I run ads. I used to pay like $30, $40 on an Instagram post that would get maybe 1,000 views, and I'd be so mad. But hey, it's okay, but some of them did explode. I did get a good couple viral videos, so make sure you just want to get that brand awareness out there. And I'm actually right now trying to get Togi, because Togi made a video talking about like how he had a bunch of hairs in his ear and he was like annoyed from it. That's exactly what ZeroCut Ear One does. It removes that. It helps clean it, you know? So I'm trying to get a hold of him right now. It's not easy, but not impossible. So you're gonna get ready. You're gonna see me on Instagram. You're gonna see me with Togi flicked up, post up with ZeroCut Ear One like a G. Now, once you've got everything set, you know, you've identified the problem, identified the solution, created a prototype, then consulted the prototype to a manufacturer, got it produced, have a business strategy, got the money to go into it, and have a good social media brand awareness, then this is when you start and going to launch and sell. It's when you start selling your product. Now, one thing you should know, you have 1 year. The moment you sell one product, you have 1 year to get that patent. Now, you don't have to patent, like I said. You know, Coca-Cola doesn't have their product patent because they didn't want nobody to know what's in the formula. Because when you patent, you have to put every little detail of your product. So if you don't want to patent, you don't have to. You know, as long as you can sell and you have a good brand, you're good. So make sure that once you start launching selling, you get your name out there, you get your product out there. Now, my initial approach was e-commerce. So what I do is I have a Shopify store with my product, and I basically have just a website. People go on it, they buy the ZeroCut Earworm from there, then I get them printed, packaged here in my room, boom, send them out, ship them like that. As well as you can, like everybody wants to be in stores. Definitely push to stores, pitch. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just pitch. My name's Solo. How you doing? Definitely pitch to stores. I definitely was like, hey, I think this would be very, very beneficial for your profit margins. I think people would buy this. I pitched to barbershop stores. That's what I went to. Or not so much hair salon I was kind of leaning to. I'm still in the early phase, but we're kind of branching towards there. And I definitely do want it, like everybody wants to be in Walmart, Target, the big ones, right? So definitely figure out your approach of how you're going to launch this and sell it, and definitely get yourself out there. With that being said, hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys actually go out there and create a product. It's awesome. It's good. Do it. Like, it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely, it's a very good feeling to know I invented this, I created it. People have your product in your hand that you made from scratch, and people are actually buying. I mean, I started off, it was, I mean, look at the packaging when I first started. Look at this, just boom, all flimsy, you know, kind of. This is just a prototype packaging that we have, and then our new iterations of our products are very, very, very good improvements that I will show in the next video. I am waiting on that to come in. I just wanted to make a video because I wanted people to know, you know, how just to initially start. Of course, when I start dealing the real life problems, the harder stuff like the logistics stuff, the legality stuff like that, obviously, but help you guys out. I want anyone to succeed. I want nothing but to help. Okay, so if you have the idea and it keeps bothering you over and over, like it did for me, it always constantly bothered me. It wouldn't leave my thought. So I was like, you know what? Why not just put action, right? There's either doers and there's talkers. You definitely want to be a doer, okay? Definitely put some action in. Just try it out. Just draw something. Hey, mom, what do you think of this? Well, obviously your mom's not lie to you. Hey, bro, what do you think of this? Okay, actually your best friend will lie to you too. But you know what I'm saying. You gotta find a good person that to talk to, get feedback from, and then why not just pursue it and try it out? You know, never know. You can end up in Target and Walmart. So, that being said, everybody stay tuned for ZeroCut. I do believe that this product will be something great. I've put a lot of work into it. I definitely think that people are I do know people are very interested in the product. I have good demand so far. All we need to do is just keep grinding at it. Of course, be ready for the haters. There's going to be a lot of haters that tell you your product is stupid. What are you doing? There's a lot. Be ready for that. That's another thing too. It's all psychology, you know. Everything in business is mental as far as, you know, physical stuff like that. So just make sure nobody's really ready for anything. So just keep going at it every day, bro. I believe in you. And or woman, you got this too. You guys got this. And of course, see you guys in the next video with a newer update with our actual new iteration ZeroCut Ear One. Thank you guys. And remember, end every cut with ZeroCut.